Okay, in this tutorial here we're going to cover the use of a conditional statement. All right, and conditionals are widely used in other applications, and maybe the most common use of conditionals is found in spreadsheets. And conditionals are really decision-making tools, and it's one of the few decision-making tools that we have when we're using a computer. Another way of thinking of them is an if-then statement. If this condition exists, then proceed this way, or if it doesn't exist, or if two values are equal or not equal or greater than or equal to. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll set up a new JavaScript here. Okay, we'll use our same paradigm. We'll call this lesson 5.4. All right, and again, if you're catching on here, you maybe already have this code written somewhere, the framework for it, and you don't have to repeat everything that I'm repeating right here. Okay, so we need an application here, and again we'll use our input processing output paradigm that we've been doing in the past here. And what I'm going to try and do is identify um, what state water is in based upon the temperature. Okay, so we'll say lesson 5.4 identify based upon temperature. Okay. And so what do I mean by that? Well, if water reaches below 32 degrees, it freezes, right? So it's a solid state. If water is between 32 degrees and 212 degrees, it's a liquid state. And then once it goes beyond 212 degrees and boils, it becomes a gaseous state. Okay? So let's write our script here. So we need to get some input from our user. Well, first, let's document this. Name in there. Okay, so we're going to need to create a couple variables here. I have one for water temperature. I have another variable here for the water state. I'll just use the variable state. Okay, so we need some input. So temperature, we need our user input that. It's going to be equal to prompt please enter the water temperature. Okay, let's check and see if this works. So I'll save it, fire it up in my web browser. Let's minimize this so we can fit it in our screen here. Let me refresh it again. Okay, so enter water temperature. Now we can put a number in there, okay, a numerical value. All right, of course it doesn't do anything yet, does it? So let's have it do something now. We need to do some processing here. Okay, let's use a conditional. We haven't used conditionals, and so a conditional statement, the syntax for it is we start with if, and we use parentheses here, and now we begin our comparison. Okay, so we'll say if the temperature is less than 32 degrees, It'll do something. Okay? Well, actually, we don't. We're gonna have one line here. If temperature is less than 32 degrees, then we're just gonna say, well, the water state, or our variable is just state, is gonna be equal to, what is it? It's a solid state, isn't it? Okay. We're not complete here, but I'll at least get started. So with some output. So I need to use alert. Alert. The state of water is, I got a string concatenation here where I'll go ahead and use my variable. Okay. I'm going to use lowercase here so it all looks the same. All right, so if the user enters in a value less than 32 degrees, we should see that the state of water is going to be solid or frozen. If the user enters something 32 degrees or higher, we're going to find that there is, we're not going to get any output because we haven't put anything there yet. All right, so let's make something happen here. All right, pull up our web browser, refresh. All right, enter water temperature, we'll say 32. Now that's not less than 32. And the state of water is undefined. Oh, that's an issue, isn't it? The state of the water is undefined because we haven't defined that value yet. Let's go back over here. All right, we haven't assigned a value to state and we're already using it. The only time we assign a value to it is if we have a temperature that's less than 32. So we'll go ahead and assign a value to it, and I'm going to say my value for, and we'll use undefined. We'll add to it a little bit, undefined by user. Okay. Let's add to it right now. All right, so we have 5, we put, let's put 212 degrees in there, and the state of water is undefined by the user. Well, that's not true. We'll maybe change this one more time, unable to define. So we haven't given it directions yet. Okay. Let's try another if statement here. So if the water temperature, we'll have to do a compound statement here. What happens if it's between 32 degrees and 212 degrees? It's going to be in a liquid form. And so our compound statement will be temperature has got to be greater than or equal to 32. And then we need to say and. We use ampersand to say and. 2 ampersands. And temperature is less than or equal to 212. Then our state is going to be liquid. Correct? We might as well finish this out. We'll put one more if statement in here. If temperature is greater than 212 degrees, then our state is going to be equal to gaseous state. All right, let's see if all this works now. So we got 3 conditionals, and we really have identified every condition here. If it's less than 32 degrees, if it's greater than or equal to 32 degrees, and less than or equal to 212, or if it's greater than 212. All right, we got all of our states covered. So I refresh. All right, let's put in 32. Let's put in 33. It's in the middle there. Okay, so state of water is liquid. Let's say we get up to 250 degrees. The state of the water is gaseous. How about 212 degrees? Is that gaseous or liquid? Well, by definition, we have that that's still liquid. We'll do one more test here. So we're doing some software testing. 213 degrees, it should be gaseous. Okay. We'll check our original condition here too. Let's go 31 degrees. And the water state is solid. Okay, so this is an example of conditionals and how they can be utilized to do some decision making for computers.